Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for stopping in. I'm not sure who's up this time of morning, but sometimes, folks, when something gets on your brain so much that it bothers you and you cannot sleep, you got to come and talk about it. A couple of days ago, I saw a video of a young African American girl, young black girl, being escorted out of school in handcuffs. And I'll say this over and over and over and over and over again. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that are listening, I am so fucking tired of repeating myself with this. And maybe some of you black mothers out there, and maybe some of you black fathers out there will get exactly what I'm saying. I've had it up to my ass with seeing our children being dragged through the mud, being killed, being murdered, being assaulted by these police. And here it is, a 6-year-old child in school. How much could a 6-year-old child misbehave to the fact of the point that the police had to come in and put her in handcuffs? And to hear another black woman in the background acting like that was okay. Now here it is at 2:32 in the morning, and this shit bothered me so much that I literally got up out of my bed to talk about this. I see a couple people dipping in the chat there. Welcome. But I got up at 2 o'clock in the morning to talk about this. This is how much it bothered me. I'm going to try and click over here, and I'm not sure if you're going to be able to hear the video, but I know damn well you'll be able to see it. I played this earlier on my radio show, and I just couldn't, maybe that's why it stuck with me for so long. But I'm going to switch on over here, and let's see what we can come up with here, that where maybe you can hear this. If you can't hear it, I'm sure you'll be able to see it. Now I want you to look at this. This is this little girl. Police officer, come here. You hear the little girl saying, for what? Look at this. How, as you, as a grown man, as a policeman, as a father, able to put this child in handcuffs? I'll say it again, and I'm going to continue to say this, because they don't see our children as children. They see our children as demons, as something that's readily disposable, to easily to be locked up, thrown away, let to get the key, throw away. Don't worry about them anymore. 6-year-old girl, how much hell could she cause in the school? 6 years old. I remember, I don't remember all of being 6 years old, but I know one thing, one good pop from my mom or my dad, and that was it. They had no more problems out of me. To put this little girl in a police car, that has scarred her for the rest of her life. Completely, utterly. Look at this. And I'm glad you folks can't hear her crying like this, because I've heard this and it's been ringing in my mind and in my ears over and over and over and over. If this was my child and I went to that school and my child was not in that school, everybody that was in there was going to catch an ass whipping. Everybody who was around was going to catch a part of these fists. Everybody. Not the teacher, not just the teachers, not just the principal, but everybody who had something to do with putting my child in handcuffs. I'm using my black face today. That means I'm really, really upset right about now, folks. Again, to get up out of your bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, after a long, hard day of work, long, hard day of broadcasting, to not to be able to sleep because of something that you reported on earlier. You had to vent, you had to rant, you had to rant about this, going back and forth. 6 years old. In the history of me ever going to school, I've never seen this until today. until I saw this video. And people think that's okay. We're an outrage. News reporters and all this, it's now something to talk about. What's the next big thing that you're going to talk about our children? How a policeman went into the school and slammed a boy up against pulled him up by his neck and choked him and slammed him. Did anybody see that one? Or a couple of years ago, how another 6-year-old girl was summarily taken out because they said that she was acting up. 48 pounds. That's damn near equivalent to 2 bags of sugar. You got all these politicians and all these, this woman running for president, Amy Klobuchar, whatever the fuck her name is, took the life of somebody just because she wanted to further her career. When I say took the life of someone, prosecuted this boy at 16 with no evidence, no DNA, no nothing. But then you got a known killer, Dylan Roof, in jail talking about times is hard for him. He don't think he's being treated fair after you walk into a church and killed 9 unarmed black people. Why is that even in the news right now? Why is even anybody talking about Dylan Roof? Why isn't somebody talking about, has this man been fired? Why isn't somebody taking his child, going to his house and see if he had a 6-year-old there and let someone put them in handcuffs and see how they would feel? Where's this fucking child's mother? Why is her face being hid? I would want everybody to know, just like Emmett Till's mother did. I would want everybody to know what you did to my damn child. I'm glad no one can see me right now, folks, because I am so literally so fucking mad that tears are running down my face. Again, when something wakes you up damn near out of your sleep that you feel you got to talk about it. That's why, folks, I'm glad I have this platform, because if I didn't create this, if I didn't have these tools, only person that would know my feelings would be the people that's around me. The only person that would know that I'm so outraged by what I saw would be the people that live in my area, the people that I talk to on a regular basis. 6 years old. What could she have possibly done to be put in handcuffs at 6 years old? Where's this child's mother? Why isn't she on the news, every channel that she could possibly get on, screaming bloody murder, telling the world how the police department, how the school, how the everything about Orlando, Florida, let her child down? Or maybe you'll see the mother later on in a twerk video. Or maybe they'll pay her some money and she'll shut up. Maybe they'll give her a couple coins. She'll get a new car. But a new boyfriend, he'll move in, take all the money from her. Why ain't this woman stepping up and saying, hey, this is what happened to my kid? Why do we have to find out about this through white media? Oprah, where you at? Gayle King, where you at? Gayle King, you had so much to say about Kobe. Oprah, you had so much to say about Bill Cosby. Why you ain't talking about this? Why ain't you talking about how a 6-year-old child got put in handcuffs and put in a damn back of a police car like she was some hardened criminal? You pick and choose the wrong fights. That's why sometimes when I go to these different YouTube channels and I hear these black men talking about black women, some of you women give them the ammunition to do just that. And for those of you who are mad at what I just said, I'm talking about you. And those who aren't, know I'm not talking about them because they agree with exactly what I'm saying. I'm not gonna stay up too much longer talking about this. I just had to vent my disgust and my utter just I just wish, folks, that policeman I wish that was my daughter. Just for 5 minutes, I wish that was my daughter and I could get in a room with that policeman. You mean to tell me you couldn't have thought of nothing else? I'd have went to that school and talked to the principal and the lady that was in the background that didn't want. You mean to tell me you couldn't have thought of nothing else the way to deal with a 6-year-old child? I'll say this over and over and over again. And maybe one day when I'm long gone, somebody will put this on my headstone. He said this. They don't treat our black children like children. They see our children as beasts, as animals, to be corralled, to be tamed. Even Hillary Clinton said it. To be brought to heel like we're animals, like our children are animals. There's a couple sad, bad incidents that happened to some white children, where here in South Carolina, where the man kidnapped the little girl, killed her. That made national news. National news. Everybody talked about that on the talk show circuit. Everybody talked about that. Not a damn soul talked about this little girl being handcuffed until black social media got a hold of it, and it stopped popping up on everybody's Facebook timeline. Then it was time to say something about it. Other than that, let's keep it on the low. Let's not talk about this because we don't want to incite riots. We don't want the black folks to get upset. I try not to use too many superlatives sometimes. Not that I'm really upset about something, but damn it, fuck it. This is one of them times I always say, and people, anybody that can tell you that listens to my radio show, that know me in person, people don't hear you until you scream at them. They don't listen. Oh, he just talking out the side of his neck. He ain't really saying nothing. I guarantee you this. I bet if I could get my hand on a policeman, he'd be listening. Be pulling shoe leather out of his ass for a month. Or lock him up in a cell with Big Hammer and Harry and let him have his way with him for about 30 days till his asshole bled. That's what you need to do with people like that. You don't have a sense of morality about who you are, then maybe we'll show you what morality means. Maybe we'll correct you, give you some corrective action about how you should treat children. Now, if this was a high school kid, I can understand. How much damage can a 6-year-old child do, folks? That's the question about this whole thing. How much damage could a 6-year-old child do? An accidental, they might be at home playing and they might accidentally find their parents' gun. They didn't go out and buy it. Or they might say a curse word that they learned from their parents. Or they might go into the bathroom and rip all the toilet tissue off the roll and stuff it in the toilet, or get their toy and stuff it in the toilet. Those are the things that 6-year-olds do. There's absolutely nothing at that school, and you mean to tell me in the whole entire curriculum of that school that they can't deal with a 6-year-old baby? Because that's just what she is. Because remember, less than a year, she was home. We don't start school until we're 6, 7 at best. Depends on when your birthday falls. Last question. Policeman, lady, guidance counselor, whoever the fuck you were, was it really necessary to call the police? Why didn't you call that child's mother first? Why didn't you call that child's aunt first? Why didn't you call that child's grandmother? Why didn't you call somebody other than the damn police? It's called the Casual Killing Act. You folks know what that is? Go look it up. It's been going on for years. Years and years and years. I had a friend when I was in the 5th grade. His name is Carl Williams. Carl Williams went home on a Friday. We never saw him again. We were in the 4th, 5th grade then. Simply because he was a black child out at night. They just passed a bill the other day that made it a federal crime to lynch somebody. Oh, I think that's a couple decades too late, don't you think? Think so. Is that what it's going to take for a 6-year-old to be lynched at school? For a 6-year-old to be beat at school? I'm going to say this one more thing to you black mothers out there and you black fathers out there with these small children in these schools. If you don't give a damn about your child, the place that you send him to damn sure ain't going to care about him. If you don't pay attention to your child when he comes on and say the teacher was treating me bad and you just fluff it off, what do you think is going to happen to that child every day that she goes to school or he goes to school? Again, as with every fiber of my being, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who will hear this later on, if I could personally get my hands on that so-called resource officer, guarantee it, he'd think twice about putting his hands on another black child. If you folks out there with these children, y'all don't want to stand up for them, there's folks out here like me that will. Wrong is wrong. It was absolutely positively wrong for those people to put that little girl in handcuffs. Absolutely positively. If anybody can find justification for that, talking about she was being unruly, I don't give a fuck how unruly she was being. Call her mama. Call her daddy. Call somebody. Incident happened with my son at school, and when I went to that school, and after my wife and I was through with those so-called educators, they got the education that they put your hand on my damn son again, I'll break every fucking bone in your body. I'll start with the big ones and work my way down to the small ones. By the time I'm through with you, they won't ask what got a hold of you, but how the fuck did you get away from it? Normally, I rant on this about 15 minutes. I've had enough, folks. Have a good night, and I hope everybody take care of your children, man. If nobody else looks out for your child, you brought that baby on this earth. And for that one mother that's out there hiding behind the cameras, you need to step up.